Southern rappers and Trump supporters, Forgiato Blow and JJ Lawhorn, dropped a new song called Good vs. Evil, where they show their blatant racism, alluding to hanging black people and uses the N-word multiple times. How can you cosplay black culture and then weaponize our music against us? My biggest question is, what's the name of this new genre? Trailer Trap? Y'all take a listen though, and let me know what you think.
Short piece of rope, hang them up high at sundown, leave them swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town. Hang them up high at sundown, leave them swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town. Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill, but if you do, bitch, we'll hang you in a fucking field. For bitch, you gotta go. Austin Metcalf lost his life at a track meet. The news won't say it, so I say it on a trap beat. Was running in the streets. Who would have thought the girl who left the danger in Ukraine would get her life taken riding on a train by a nigga when she's repping Black Lives Matter? But you triggered by this song, tell me which is sad. Big tall tree and a short piece of rope, hang them up high and sundown, leave them swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town.
Fair use, fair use, fair use. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all honor, all praise, and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Arachak, Wadash. Del honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations to the tabernacle of David, the whole four elect, scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth. Man, I'm appreciating being alive in this time, just seeing everything unfold and witnessing the man of sin be revealed. And Esau, hey, he feel his kingdom is slipping away. So this is how they're going to be acting, from here on out. And I prefer it this way. Not that covert, dissembling, fake, act that they put on in their daily life. Nah, come on out and really, really reveal who you are. Because the Bible doesn't hide who you are in your nature. And that's how we know that, this is who he is. Esau versus Jacob. That's basically what this all boils down to. Going back to the garden, the serpent versus the woman. Okay. But anyway, y'all heard the song, and really he's in this natural element. We know that Esau, he's a violent creature, and he's always been a man of vengeance. When it says, the days of mourning my father are at hand, then will I begin to slay my brother Jacob. Hey, that's rooted in their spirit. They're taking advantage of this whole Charlie Kirk situation, and really they're using this opportunity to dehumanize Jake. Make them the scapegoat for everything going wrong. They coming out at thin air with all these fake statistics. So, all this energy that's coming from them, it's really just them finally channeling their natural spirit. All right, now what he just did goes back to his forefather. All right, when you go back to the sons of the wicked, which were descendants of Cain, you had a man by the name of Lamech. All right, let's go there real quick. We're going to Genesis 4, and I'm gonna start at the 17th verse, and we're gonna get it in the NLT, and it says, Cain had sexual relations with his wife, and she became pregnant and gave birth to Enoch. Then Cain founded a city, which he named Enoch after his son. Enoch had a son named Irad. Irad became the father of Mahujael. It's like Mahujael. Mahujael became the father of Methuselah. Methuselah became the father of Lamech. Lamech married 2 women. The first was named Adah, and the second was Zillah. Adah gave birth to Jabal, who was the first of those who raised livestock and live in his tents. His brother's name was Jubal, and the first of all who played a harp and flute. Lamech's other wife, Zillah, gave birth to a son named Tubal-Cain. He became an expert in forging tools of bronze and iron. Tubal-Cain had a sister named Naamah. One day Lamech said to his wives, and this right here, this is Lamech basically, he about to spit a quick little verse to his 2 wives. Adah and Zillah, hear my voice. Listen to me, you wives of Lamech. I have killed a man who attacked me, a young man who wounded me. If someone who kills Cain is punished 7 times, then the one who kills me will be punished 77 times. And are y'all not getting that same feel from these devils? You know, ever since this PSY, this C. Kirk PSY, this mental operation that they got going, these Edomites, it's like they are going back to that Jim Crow spirit, that post-emancipation spirit. And you know, between last year and this year, there's been bodies being found on trees or hanging from, you know, objects. And Jake, you know, let's just say Jake, that's not, if Jake trying to take theyself out, that's definitely not a way that Jake would normally do it. So they're showing you their true nature. And this whole, you know, drill rap or trap music, you can say that E actually originated that. You know, Jake said that he basically weaponized black culture and weaponized it against us. Nah. Esau was talking like this since way back. And we're reading it. So they always been violent and very vengeful. This is the reason why they don't let nothing slide. They'll talk that good game like they're good Christian people, good Christian folk, but they're all about blood, especially when it pertains to you tribes. All right. So let me do this because I put it in Google, and this is an AI overview. It says the Lamech song about vengeance is a passage in the book of Genesis, chapter 4, 23 through 24, where Lamech, a descendant of Cain, brags to his 2 wives, Adah and Zillah, about killing a man for wounding him and a young man for bruising him, declaring that his vengeance should be 77 times greater than the 7-fold vengeance promised to Cain. There's a reason why they feel as though when they do a crime, they shouldn't suffer at the fullest extent of the law. That they should basically get some kind of leniency, you know, a slap on the wrist, and that's pretty much this white supremacist system. And for the same crimes that if one of you Jakes do it, they're going to execute you to the fullest extent of the law. All right, whether they lock you up indefinitely or for a long period of time, or whether they actually execute you. The Edomite, you know, he gets that automatic immunity for being an Edomite, so-called white. All right. So, and they're not keeping the same energy about the man who allegedly pulled the trigger on Mr. Kirk. They still somehow are gonna, flip it and turn it back on Jake. And now you got them making these type of songs. They dog whistling each other. So Jake better watch it, because he saw his own one. The days of mourning my father at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. He's in that energy. It's all being channeled and coming right back to him. It says, this short poetic declaration, often called the Song of the Sword, he lives by that sword. So the originator of drill rap is E, going back to his forefather Lamech, one of the sons of one of the descendants of Cain. Is a famous example of extreme pride and unrepentant violence. And it was a tweet by Matt Welsh, where he's basically saying that you can be forgiven even if judgment is executed. Basically, you could still be locked up, you could still be executed for committing crime, but we could still forgive you. That don't mean that the consequences shouldn't be met. So we can say we forgive you and still come after you, still do something to you. That was basically what he was saying in that post. So he's always been a vengeful person. When we talk about the vengeance of the Lord, that makes us extremists. But these individuals, they can say all the things, all the hate-filled things that they want, and be covered. It says, standing in contrast to Yahushua later teaching on unlimited forgiveness. It says, the text of the song, according to the English Standard Version, Lamech says to his wives, Adah and Zillah, hear my voice, you wives of Lamech. Listen to what I say. I have killed a man for wounding me, a young man for striking me. If Cain's revenge is 7-fold, then Lamech's is 77-fold. All right. So they originated that whole drill music, or trap. It's the earliest example of that right in the book of Genesis, man. Meaning and context, escalating violence. The song is a boastful and barbaric declaration of escalating violence and vengeance. And that's Esau. Let me get Ezekiel 35. Ezekiel Ezekiel 35. I'll start at 1. It says, moreover, the words of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it. And say unto it, thus saith the Lord power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, and in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. And this is dealing with Esau's vengeance. This is Obadiah 1. Yeah, Obadiah 1. And this is dealing with their vengeance against us during the time of the Babylonian captivity. It says, verse 10, it says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Even though, you got Trump, he's trying to erase evidence. He doesn't want any visual evidence of that history. All right, and they know exactly what their forefathers did. So they want to try to erase it. And now they're trying to paint themselves as victims of so-called racially motivated hate crimes. When all these crimes that we're seeing, it's been white on white. Y'all commit most of the violent crimes in the country because you're violent by nature. Trying to, which Jake have they problem, and their violence is usually against each other because of that curse, their eye being evil towards one another. But you devils, man, you just need any little reason. Continuing on, it says, in the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yet thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Yeah, because they helped the Babylonians plunder the temple. They desecrated it, and then they took, out of the temple. All right. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. So it was catching Jakes that were trying to escape from the Babylonians. It says, neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of this that did remain in the day of distress. All right, so he always took vengeance. Amos 1:11, it says, thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, showed no mercy in his anger, and did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. But I will send a fire upon Teman, which shall devour the palaces of Basra. So, all this energy coming from Esau right now, well, he's already guilty as charged, because the scriptures foretold you, all right, that he would keep his anger perpetually. So anytime that they feel justified, they're going to try to spill blood. This is that natural hatred that they have for Jacob, because Jacob ain't got nothing to do with what's going on. Now you're making songs about you'll hang, basically you'll hang a nigga. That's basically what the message is. And then you got bodies being found near college campuses being hung, and all of a sudden all these different bodies that they're finding, they're declaring or classifying it as suicide. Like, come on, man. Jake don't do that to themselves. So, yeah. I'd rather that this be out in the open. All right? Because, you don't have to try to figure out who your enemy is. Your enemy, letting it be known who they are. All right? Can't be naive, and especially in these times. Okay? So, yeah, man, I just had to do a response, to this little this little song here. All they doing is doing exactly what their forefather Lamech did. Okay, Esau, he's a man of blood, he's a man of violence, he's a man of vengeance, and that's why ultimately the Lord's gonna, hey, be rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. Because the Lord, he gonna have his time where he's gonna get his vengeance on you. That's scripture. Ezekiel, Isaiah the 63rd chapter. That's gonna be the Lord's vengeance. He said, "Vengeance is mine." So y'all ain't got nothing to worry about. Keep the same energy. And with that, I'm gonna give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And to the next one, Shalom.